are you doing? My name is Ehab. I'm from the UK. I'm an IT engineer, and I've been living in Mongolia for about 3 years. Today I want to talk to you about information divide, and specifically the techniques that I use to convey this information. I want to start first by emphasizing the human aspect to information and to technology. One of the main things is information is ideas. Yeah? It's a person's idea. Information is like a vision, a person's vision. And information is a solution to a problem. Yeah? But, a person comes up with that solution. And in terms of technology, technology is communicating that idea across. Is also sharing that vision or applying that solution to a problem. So when we talk about IT, information technology, we always think about information and technology, but we do forget the human aspect about it, the person. And knowing this, most people in the world live in developing nations. And the flow of information, the connections, the network, the technology is actually concentrated around one area, which is the developed nations, as you can see from this map, North America, Europe, but you see Africa, you see part of Asia, South America. The information is not there, and the creators of those content is in that area. So information flow. When we talk about information flow, everything relies on information flow. From our politics, from our economy, our marketing, from the media, from management, from currency, scientific literature. Everything relies on information flow. So we thought about this new technology, the internet. What the internet going to do is going to make people across boundaries, across economic and social, and even national borders to kind of communicate. But this is not happening. And we wonder why. There's something called the digital divide. And everybody heard about the digital divide. And if you didn't hear about it, in its most basic form is the people who can use technology and the people who cannot use it. Yeah. The people who can use technology, they have access to information. And that's all we hear about. But there's something important. They also have access to the techniques. So information is transferred through the techniques. Yeah? And the technology, the new technology, the things that come in, you've got Facebook, you've got mobile phones, now you've got applications for smartphones, and all of these are ways to communicate. But the people who cannot use this, there's an economic issue. Sometimes they don't have it, they don't have the technology. But sometimes, they have the technology, they don't know how to use it. This brings us back to our information flow picture. And you start realizing that part of the digital divide, there is something called an information differential. And that is so crucial. The information differential is actually creating something called the information divide. Excuse me, I'm a little bit nervous now. Okay, so we talk about this, and we think that having access to information is enough. Like we are here in a developing nation, we have access to information, we have technology, we can use it now. Yeah, that's enough. We have everything. But it's not if we don't have the technique. Yeah, the way to actually communicate with the system, to actually create systems. You know, so technology, the way I see it is kind of, it's got two elements to it. It's the technological, which, you know, access of information, yeah, and it's also the technical, it's the techniques, the tools, the skills to build technology to be able to access those information or share that information. So, so why am I here? Why am I talking to you? I used to be a VSO volunteer, and that's what brought me to Mongolia, Voluntary Service Overseas. It's a British NGO, and I used to live in a province here in Mongolia called Uvahangai. I lived there for about a year and a bit. And as you can see, is that red area in the map. And where you see that black dot there, that's where I used to live. And if you see those little white dots around it, yeah, these are like villages, or what we say, sums here. And in each sum, yeah, there's hospitals. I used to be an IT engineer working there with the health department of Uvahangai and with the Ministry of Health here, and also, most important, was a colleague of mine, my counterpart, an IT engineer, his name is Tumro, to come up with ways to improve how the health department works through technology. So one of the main things that we thought that we're going to do is to train people how to use, Microsoft Word, Access, whatever. And then I realized there was one problem. Every 3 months, I'm there in this health department, and I see these Russian jeeps coming from those little white dots. So driving for 3 hours in winter, going through a whole lot of off-road, and some will come with a USB with some information on it. These are the people who know how to use a computer. Yeah, it's full of viruses, by the way. That's another story. Yeah, and some come with their computers. Yeah, these are people who have the technology, yeah, but they don't know how to use it. So they hook up their computers in the library of the health department, and they start entering data there. Yeah, and then there's another lot that come. Actually, they come from Batul Sisum over there, which. They came with paper, a whole lot of paperwork, stacks of paperwork, and they gave it to people in the health department so they can enter the data, and they didn't have a computer. So what we managed is to get a computer for them and things like that. But one of the most important things, I was asking my counterpart, why are these people sending the information through email? He goes, they don't have internet. I said, but they have mobile phones, right? He goes, yeah. So that mobile phone, does it have data on it? And he goes, let me check. About 10 minutes later, we discovered they do. A company called G-Mobile, people here know it. So we managed to get a couple of mobile modems, and go to these zones, train people how to use Microsoft Word, Access, etc. Train them how to use the modem, how to send the information, how to use Yahoo. For some reason, Yahoo Messenger was a big thing. So how to send the information with Yahoo. And it was really, really good. The following financial report to the Ministry of Health came up, and most of the people we trained sent everything by email. So brilliant, we did the training, everything went fantastic. So access to information, it works. Whoa. But there's one thing. I was wondering, why did my counterpart not come up with this idea of using a mobile phone? He knows, he could have thought about it. He could have went there and did this, but he didn't. So I realized that there was something missing, the technique. Yeah, and when I say the technique, it means the tools. Yeah, the way of doing things. That's part of the process. He had the idea, yeah. He had a way of figuring it out, but he didn't know how to do it. And it made me think about entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, yeah. People who have a vision or an idea, or they see a problem, and they want a solution for it, yeah. And they have the technique to do that. So if you look in the West, in the developed nations, they know how to use the thing, they know how to use the technique, they know how to program, or they know how to use the technology in a different way, or develop new technology. So they can actually go about doing this. So you've got new inventions, you've got your Google, your Facebook, your iPhone, your Android, whatever. And this takes me to this idea of, I believe everybody, yeah, should have access to information, but also be able to use techniques to be able to interact with technology, build practical solutions, and that should be part of our childhood. That should be part of our education. It should start from a very early age. And that brings me to my idea and why I'm here. Before I start talking about that, I just want to introduce you to this little tiny device. It's a credit card device. I don't have one. I actually ordered one. It was supposed to arrive like a couple of weeks ago, but it's still in the post somewhere. This little device here is a computer. And it comes like that. And this computer cost only $35. It's not that expensive. And it does everything your normal computer does. It uses a Linux operating system. I'm not going to go into too much details about it. Yeah? My water's gone. So, but I tell you why it's made. Yeah, the guy who invented it had a vision of he wanted to teach the techniques to kids. He wanted to show them how electronics work, what happens inside a computer. Right now, your kids, they have a box. They don't know. They use the software, but they don't know what's inside the box. So maybe they do, but they don't know exactly the nitty-gritty of how it works. Yeah. He wanted to teach kids how to, solve problems or even produce products. For mobile, what is mobile? How does the internet work? And, build application, learn programming languages. Yeah. And they built it, it's very easy to use. So what I want to do is, my idea is not new. It's actually, there's a project in the UK, in a developed nation, that's going on now to teach kids how to program in schools. But I was thinking, if we go back to that map and to see where all the majority of human beings are living in developing nations, why not teach it? Teach kids the techniques in the developing nation. Yeah? Why not show them, give them an understanding of how the hardware works? How games, they're playing games, how games work. Why not build your own game? How network works, how communication works. It also gives kids another aspect. It gives them creativity. You never know. If you teach a kid how to program, they're not like an engineer, not like me. I'm trained to do this, so I'm fixated, I'm following rules. But if you teach kids how to program, they don't follow rules. They just have an idea, and if they know how to make it, they'll just do it. So it will teach kids creativity. And this brings me to that point of why I want to have this little tiny project. So I want to bring these Raspberry Pis and start in a small scale here in Mongolia, teaching kids how to program from the age of 5 to 18 years old. And you never know what the future holds. You might teach one of these kids something and they become an entrepreneur because they will have the ability to have a vision. Everybody has a vision, but they have the ability to go through the process. The vision, they see the solution, and they have the techniques and the skills and the tools to build these solutions. And you never know, maybe the next technology comes out of Mongolia or out of Ghana or out of Sudan or out of any kind of developing nation. So that's where I stop. But just take this note, this final note. The kids are the future, and programming and technology is nothing hard. It's actually, for me personally, kind of coming up with poetry or something like that is really hard. But programming, is very easy. And I taught my nephew. In 2009. I taught him how to program, and now he's like, "Oh, uncle, I did this game and I did that game," and it's really good. So let's do that. Let's teach people the technique to be able to solve problems from within the nation, not coming out of developed nations. Thank you.